Alright, let's introduce our long laundry list of players here. Let's start on the bottom right corner. The Terran player, the teal Terran player, he is
DLS Gazelle.
Neutrophil on the bottom right, and then on the bottom left, it is Little Reaper.
Little Reaper.
And then why don't you just start on the top left?
Oh, top left. Yep, the blue Zerg. He is.
Regret.
And the middle one is...
And we got a purple toss. He is. And a red toss.
Very cool.
Alright, we're good now.
Alright, more Zealots are coming in, but there are
Coordination.
Banelings here. They are trying to focus this Nexus.
Yeah, shouldn't be.
And
Yeah,
they are
shouldn't
gonna
be.
get it! And it's gonna be...
So,
Yes,
they
got
get it. They just got it. So I guess that's kind of worth
They
it,
just
right?
got it, but that was expensive. That's what a Nexus is equivalent to 4 Zealots, and more than 4 Zealots died there.
Oh, it's the opportunity cost. So they're gonna delay the mining.
And here's the attack. Regret's gonna come in.
Focus
Void
fire.
Race coming in. Is gonna snipe the Warp Prism.
There's a shield battery here though. So.
There is a shield battery, but Prismatic Alignment has been kicked off. He is losing the Void Race one at a time.
Yeah, this is not terrible.
Nice.
Especially
It's not
the
terrible.
Nice. Now
Yeah.
they can push.
Yeah, because Void Rays are expensive. It's hard
Yeah.
to rebuild that.
Yeah, they are expensive, but I don't think they can get
Shield
up that
battery.
ramp because their shield
Yeah.
batteries up there now.
Indeed.
There is some skirmishes on the bottom left because you know what, Mizel has been left to his own devices. He hasn't been touched.
Literally,
And here
divided.
is
Drop.
a bunch of cyclones being
what?
dropped.
Cyclones.
Cyclone drop.
Interesting.
I've never seen that
Yeah, he's
before.
probably gonna. Yeah, he's probably gonna snipe some Nexus and some major
Alright.
structures.
So
Those things
here's
can
Regret
just-
on the backside, trapping a lot of these stalkers.
Oh, that's a good fight for them.
Up,
However-
there you go. Mizel's gonna snipe the.
But Regret's
hatchery.
losing something on the other side.
He's gonna
Yeah.
lose it, but he does have another base right to the right of it. So
Oh, Mizel didn't move all the...
Mizel missed micros. He
Yeah, he lost like 2...
had it back-
He should have fought.
cyclones.
Yeah, he should have just let it be.
Oh,
But you know
lurker.
what? There are lurkers now.
Oh no,
And the lurkers-
Yeah,
Have been burrowed. You know, lurkers tear apart stalkers, and they have mostly stalker army composition here. So
Yeah.
it's true.
Here comes
Wow,
the void.
here comes... Mizel's kind of alone here.
yeah, Mizel is fought
no.
out here by himself.
Fought
Yeah.
by himself.
He needs his buddies to help him out.
Yeah.
There's...
So he loses that outpost. He was trying to expand there, but I think that's gonna happen.
Big fight on the right. Meanwhile, Neutrophil has a run-by of Zealots.
Secure this middle ground location. Yeah, there is, but I don't know if they can break this
That's a lot of Immortals.
composition.
Yeah, the problem is the Immortals. And
Yeah,
he
look at
doesn't
these
even kill the
immortals.
carry.
They're gonna tear. Yeah, I don't think they can stop this composition here.
Yeah, Neutrophil Zealots killed a lot of things on the other side, but can they stop this monster force?
Yeah, but look at the basis of the team on the top. It's being ravaged by zealots.
Yeah, it looks like the Archaic is gonna recall some units home, some Void Rays just to deal with it. But you know the problem here is this is a Death Ball army.
Yeah, the army's
By-
the scary part.
Yeah.
They don't want to
They have
split
no-
up though, and this is a bad idea splitting up.
Yeah, yeah. Interceptors. Oh my gosh, look at all those Immortals!
That is a ton of immortals, and I don't think.
Do they have
Um,
any
Yeah, they have an
detection?
answer to this.
They need
Yeah, I
detect
don't think
those.
we
is,
have an
uh,
answer for this. There is a I
DT?
think critical mass of
Oh.
immortals, lurkers, and carriers now.
Yeah. Little Reaper's getting ransacked.
I mean, there's that stuff happening all over the map, but looks like the Regret team has the correct composition here.
Yeah.
Finish out the game.
Yeah, it's just
No
Little
way
Reaper
stop
and Mizel that's kind of left over.
And there's the GG.
Alright, GG. Good game.
There you go, the winners! Winners are Regret,
The Archaic.
the Archaic, and
Very cool.
Alright, guys, game 3. This third place match.
FSL Season 4.
Alright, let's introduce our players on the bottom right corner of Light Shade. Game point, match point. Blue Terran, he is.
DLS Mizel.
Alright, our player in the top left, he needs to win this game to stay alive. It is.
Spaghettio.
Look at that. Spaghetti decides to wall in the bottom. Interesting.
Yeah, that's actually very risky against a Terran.
Yeah, against a
Oh,
Terran.
here you go. Michelle's like, that doesn't do anything to me.
Yeah.
Because now he can
That's
just
free
lower his
minerals.
supply depot.
That's free minerals.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, no.
He's trying to fake him with a, oh, I'm gonna cannon you, probably.
Yeah, but the build order versus a cannon and that is the same, so it doesn't really do anything. 25 minerals has lost on that. Not too crazy. This time he's just hanging out and doing a standard build. In fact, he is scouting for Jesus. He could have done
Scouting for the
damage.
proxy, yeah, proxy Stargate.
Yeah. Which is really can kill you.
Yeah.
You don't see that in time. You'll just die even if the player is a league below you.
Mizel is feeling cheese. But there's nothing. No cheese coming.
Nope, I mean,
I knew it.
I knew it.
He didn't. Oh, he thought he was gonna see structures.
Something.
He didn't see it.
Ah, yeah, he didn't see anything. He-
It's like, oh
yeah.
gosh, is there a proxy? Is there's not? Oh,
I thought proxies, yep.
this guy has some extra APM chatting like this.
right?
That's a good move actually, because then the Terran will think, uh oh, there's an attack coming, but there isn't.
Yeah.
There's no prism. There's no robo.
Alright, here's another drop.
Ideas.
Let's see SpaghettiO's reaction time this time.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh. it's not
Armory's
working.
done, by the
Oh!
way. Armory's
Armory's-
done. Oh, he didn't target.
Yeah.
There is no detection here for SpaghettiO, and
Yeah, not
Oh,
for a
man,
while either.
You are watching.
This is disrupting the Spaghettio for sure.
there's no robo, there's no forge, there's no starting.
Oh.
So
He doesn't know that.
This is it then, guys. He does see nothing up front, so maybe he can do damage with his huge army.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you have only what? Nothing.
And here's
Oh,
the
look
Look at
mine.
that.
Fire
The mines are
again.
gonna hit.
Ouch!
Ooh,
4. That's not bad.
Yeah. not
Spaghetti
bad.
can win this if he just goes.
Yeah. Ay, ay, ay. Here we go again. Mizel
Mizel doesn't have
not
any
making
unit
units
here.
behind it.
There
The
is a
tank
tank.
is still
Oh,
on
the
the
It's
tank!
gonna be donation.
Okay, well actually he's gonna
Donation.
fight it.
What the heck's the tank doing?
The blink is not done, so. Oh, but he can go kill that tank.
Yeah, he needs to focus fire on the tank.
He's not repairing either. Mizel
Oh my
is...
gosh! But the mines
Oh
are
my
hitting
gosh.
still on the other side.
Yeah, but the mines can't kill buildings. These stalkers can.
Yeah, that's true.
This is bad. This is bad for Mizel.
What
needs
Mizel's
to
about
close.
to throw this game?
Yeah. It's the same thing that happened in his the second game.
Yeah. Now
Let's
if
see if
Mizel
he-
just splits his mines, the
Mines.
other one, then there's no
Yeah.
mining.
Now let's see if Spaghettio.
Oh, the
finishes-
other mine's about to blow. No, never mind.
Yeah,
What is-
Mizel shouldn't go down that ramp though.
Yeah.
He shouldn't.
Stay on top, put a bunker or something, because you're gonna
Oh.
get crushed. Oh, it's just not good
If he
for
loses this command center, Spaghettio is actually in the lead. Oh, he has blink.
He has blink now. Okay, he better not
Alright.
lose all these stalkers again from
Yeah,
this
I think
SCV
he's
pool.
gonna take this, guys.
Although he's losing units here.
Yeah, he's using units again. Oh
What-
my gosh!
Where's his army? He's not
He's
reinforcing.
now down. He's now down to 3 stalkers. 2
And
stalkers.
At a minimum, he has to kill. But
no!
he gives up. He doesn't know. Wow.
You know,
Mizel-
because once he cleans up this army, he has 3
Yes.
command centers.
Guys, he
What?
doesn't. He doesn't have map hack.
Yeah.
All right. He does not have map hack, so he doesn't know he actually has a chance.
Why did he quit there when there's only what 3 stalkers?
Cheesy Nachos. Aegis Infinite Cycles. Angry Space Bears. Hold the Boys.
We are live.
Oh, hello, everyone. It
Good morning.
is a beautiful Saturday morning, depending where you live. For some of us, it's Saturday afternoon, and for some of us, it's not that beautiful out. Here, let's actually take Sergeant ABC off camera for the moment. He's got the looks, but we want to save that for later. I want to introduce my co-casters. First of all, I'm Hyper Turtle. I'm the commissioner and oftentimes caster of FSL. I am here with Nachos from CheesyNachos and Monkey Shaman from Pull the Boys, right?
That is correct.
All right, so we are going to be getting some insider thoughts on both these teams because guess who's playing against each other today?
Yes.
That would be us.
Yep. CheesyNachos versus last season's champions, Pulled the Boys. So, yeah, a lot of excitement going on here. This is going to be the competitive debut of Medic Jr., along with, I think we've got some other players here and there. So let's just go over. So 2v2, Antoine Q and Sir Maligan versus Von Litvig and Medic Jr. What are your thoughts about those? Just quickly.
I mean, I'm excited to see the competitive debut of Medic Jr. I think that he has been super active in the Discord and just seems like a really good member of the FSL community. And now he gets to, put his fingers to the keyboard and let it shine. So I'm stoked for that.
It should be a very high skill team game. Then Code A, we've got Little Reaper versus some guy named Nachos.
That's what's up. I promise that with Little Reaper, I have done 2v2 with him and against him and 1-on-1 with him. It's going to be promises to be a lot of fun. I was kind of geared up for Deepu. Kind of had a shift over to ZVP. My ZVP is not that great, but I'm willing to take him to task. So let's see what happens.
Alrighty, yeah, Deepu wasn't able to make it today, but we're looking forward to seeing him since he's quite intriguing, and I'm not even sure which race he's focusing on this time around. Usually it's one at a time. Code B, we got Sergeant ABC, who you saw on camera for a moment, against Monkey Shaman.
Yes,
That's right.
The coveted co-beers. Yeah,
you gotta start somewhere, man.
All the captains from last season learned our lesson so hard. Is that if your code B cannot play, unless you have another code B, you have forfeit 2 games. And you're like, what's going on? Because in the FSL, you can only play up. And so when you are in this season, there are a few teams that can only have 1 code B. So if that dude's out sick or that girl's out sick, you just forfeited 2 games, man. It's tough. So code Bs are the most precious players in the FSL. So great.
They are gems, and fortunately, kind of after the initial draft, we were able to get a few more of them in.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's tricky because they keep getting better, and then they're not in Code B anymore. So it's like the little birds just keep leaving the nest. It's tragic.
That happened to me last season. I started off Code B, and they're like, and halfway through the season, they're like, Nachos, we need you to move to Code A. So I'm like, yeah.
Okay, well, we're gonna move the team members right in here.
Do it.
Wait, is Medic Jr. around?
He
we're just
he
talking
was
about
definitely playing. Oh, I don't know about Medic Jr.
Here, just one moment. I'm gonna check.
This awkward part of the stream is brought to you by Nerdwax. My glasses keep slipping, so I put this Nerdwax so my glasses won't slip off my.
All right, guys, we have an update. Medic Jr. did not make it in time, so we're gonna. He may not even be up. We couldn't reach him. So
Okay.
Little Reaper's gonna substitute.
Okay, there we go.
Little Reaper stepping up to the plate. That's what I'm talking about.
Don't let the little part give you a false sense of
We're
security.
flexible on. Can't find Medic Jr. right now, so we're going ahead with Little Reaper. Pull the Boys is a very interesting game because you got 3 brothers all together in it.
Mm-hmm. Hey, if
So,
you've been playing the FSL, you know Little Reaper. You know Little Reaper. He ain't little.
He's like one of those adorable little prairie critters, and you try to reach out to pet him, and next thing you know, you don't have an arm.
Yeah.
So don't take it easy on this guy as much as you're tempted. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Can we get the 2v2 teams on camera? Antoine Q, Little Reaper, Sir Malagant, and Von Litvig.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Von Litvig off mute.
Hey.
Okay, alright, so we need to get everyone to the party too. Sir Malagant, it's not allowing me to invite you to party. Are you still in a party?
Yeah.
Or are you
Leaving
just
now.
not accepting?
There you go. All good.
Okay. Alright.
By the way.
Mm-hmm. Who else are we missing? Should be one more player. Oh, Little Reaper. Oh, he's in there.
Oh boy. We're up against Little Reaper. This is gonna be fun.
It is always fun. Little Reaper, how you doing? You having a good summer? You're off school, right?
Yeah.
All right, that gives you more time to practice. And here, just let me just see. Antoine Q, I think I still need you in the party.
I'm gonna keep it real. I thought Little Reaper had a cigarette in his mouth, but it's a lollipop. I was like, man, this kid is it's gonna be all right.
Tyka Spindley. Damn shame.
Already vaping.
That's right.
Uh,
A little too early.
Okay.
A little too early.
but yeah, Antoine Q, can you join? I see that you're on camera, but can you get into? There we go. All right, we have everyone together. Let the trash talking begin. Pull the boys. I think you've had to switch who you're going to be putting forward multiple times here. Is that? Do you think you have a game plan now? Are you going to throw one together, or are you just going to do your thing?
Guess we're gonna throw one together.
Uh-huh.
I think that we should just say that this was part of our grand strategy, the classic misdirection. You know that we have the Nachos like up late at night planning specific strats against our team, and then just like that, new lineup.
I wouldn't put it past you. And so Nachos, you guys gonna have to change up your strategy, or you know what you're doing.
Pretty much okay.
Yeah, I mean, we got the heads up, but like I said, I've been warning my team all week. It's like, listen, FSL's built different. We could off race in between matches, man. So be prepared.
All right, and so tell you what, I'd like we've got Nachos and we've got Monkey Shaman here. How about each of you ask one question to your teammates before we get started?
ABC, you go first.
Oh yeah, CheesyNachos. I got nothing else. You guys got this. You have it on lockdown. You guys have been practicing all week. Just communicate. I'm just going to tell you, communicate. Good luck and have fun. But you guys got it.
Roger that.
All right, Monkey Shaman. Any encouraging words for your teammates?
Encouraging words for my teammates. I would say that you guys have everything you need in your toolkit. You know how to play this game very well. Little Reaper is a certified menace, and just go out there and play your A game, have fun, and we'll see, where the workers end up splatting and who GG's first. But I feel good about this.
All right, beautiful.
Sure.
I am going to move the teams into the menace. I feel that's for my brother, Little Reaper says. But yeah, I'm going to move you to your separate voice chats, and we're going to get this underway.
And we're messing around and getting a we have a mirror match. I love to see it.
Protoss Zerg, love it. Yes, indeed. Yep. Close out Twitch. We don't want any extra information here, and people here are very.
So I should close my Twitch as well as a caster, or leave it up?
No. You can look at it if you want, but just to answer things in the chat. Mostly, we'll be watching our main observer, KJ Freedom.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Special is watching on stream. Well, shout out Special.
Oh, hey, and we need Charlie into our voice chat because he's translating.
Is that
for
Atomic? I guess.
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
All
He
right.
should be in Cheesy. Let's see if he's in the Cheesy channel. Cheesy channel? Where'd he go? Chatonomic. Yeah, in lobby 2. Oh yeah, he's in there. He's in there.
No.
Yeah. Okay, Antoine says go.
All right. So
Okay.
for the record, English is not Antoine Q's first language. He is very French.
Do I need to get pulled into as an observer in StarCraft 2, the client?
Ooh. I think.
You
Yeah,
should.
I guess we missed you here.
Oh,
I
sorry.
am in channel FSL. Do you see me?
Okay, we'll do that the next one. For now, just watch on Twitch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about that. There was
No,
a
it's
lot of
alright.
rambling to do this time around. We are going to be going on the Stallion, by the way. Now it is time to introduce our players. In the upper left, we have our blue Zerg, and he is
Von Lipwig.
Von Lipwig.
Oh, I was going to say that automatically. In the green, our Protoss partner, he is
Little Reaper.
and they are playing for the team of
Hold the boys.
all right, Nachos, take it.
For the purple, we have Protoss. This is Sir.
Sir Maligan.
And for CheesyNachos in the red, and this is the Zerg. He is.
Antoine Q.
Both playing for.
CheesyNachos.
All right. We have the overlords and the probes moving across the map, checking things out. That's going to be interesting. Sir Maligan's been kind of... Yep.
Oh, yeah, go for it. Go for it. Sorry.
Well, no, nothing really specific. Very similar builds here. We have Little Reaper starting his Cybernetics core a little bit earlier than the Protoss on the other side. And I'm right now just kind of looking around, seeing who's expanded. Little Reaper, of course, with the earlier Cybernetics core means the later Nexus. He has not gone out to grab it just yet.
Out of the two teams, which do you think is going to put on the first sort of early aggression?
Oh, Little Reaper.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably.
That
Yeah.
delay. That's a comment. Ooh, there's a death.
It's usually right around the 5-minute mark. You know, he's going to have a very clear, very clean build that he's going to be moving out with. And it should be something that Von Lipwig should pretty easily be able to throw some Zerglings or Roaches together to support.
Yeah.
As for Sir Maligan and Antoine Q, well, they haven't teamed before, and they're working, you know, I think Antoine Q is going to be able to understand a lot of what's being said, but here and there, they're going to have to wait for translation. So coordination's going to be key here, especially with defense.
Yeah. My team, Antoine and his translator, Chanonomic, they were working together, and there's a really good rhythm between like the commands and with the translations. You maybe a half second, delay, but the communication was there.
Yeah.
What is Antoine Q's first language? Is it, I'm going to guess?
French.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Very French. And over here, we got Von Lipwig. Okay, yeah. Little Reaper's initial adapt being cleanly surrounded.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. Little Reaper right now a little bit behind in supply. And then we've got a similar adapt being chased down of Sir Maligan. So they're both, number one, trying to harass, trying to force some Zerglings out, and just getting an idea of what to expect from the other. From Von Lipwig, we have Roach Tech going. Little Reaper is going to be going Charge Lot Immortal. And I like Sir Maligan's adapt. You know, obviously it's going to be going down, but it's caused a lot of chaos and force some of the opposing units to move out right where those Zerglings could pounce on them. Now, there's Zerglings coming out in answer to the Lung of the Queen, so they are going to have to back off again, but I think that was pretty effective. Right now, Little Reaper continues to be behind. No workers on his natural just yet. He is getting a Warp Prism out, and that's where he shines with that initial attack, making sure to have plenty of reinforcements along with it.
Yeah. We're coming upon 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, he's very much excels at practicing those initial pushes. And then knowing how to pick up where he left off and adjust afterwards. So I think we're getting to see it. Von Lipwig is moving a lot of Zerglings over to attack. Another one of Little Reaper's adepts going down. And right
This
now, the
time a little more
opportunity here.
easily to get those surrounds because he does have Zergling speed. It looks like Von Lipwig has not finished yet. So you see the
No,
actual wings on the
about
red.
2/3 of the way
They're
through.
even better.
And here come the charged zealots. But right now it's kind of 2 against 1, so I think CheesyNachos is definitely in an advantageous position right now. The Warp Prism
You would
goes
like to
back
see-
home.
With Little Reaper's charge lots, you would like to see those speedlings get that surround, and that's why it made it more of an even matchup than it needed to be.
Yeah.
Right, those units not having speed just yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the trade-off there, and it might turn out to be a good one, is that Von Lipwig could get focused on those Roach-related upgrades first instead with that gas. There, he's got his speed working right now, and he's already got missile level 1.
Mhm.
So I think
Little
that level
Reaper-
1 Roaches will 2-tap Zerglings.
And Little Reaper is researching Dark Templar attack. He loves that. So this time it looks a little bit more coordinated. Roaches and Zealots moving right in at the front. There is Colossus there. They have to keep that out of attack range.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the Colossus poking on the Roaches, though, that's the wrong target. It wants to be chewing Zealots if it can.
Right.
Yeah.
You want units
which
that it
is
does
done.
extra damage against.
Yeah.
And Litvig is going right after the workers, kind of keeping the distance. The Roach Stalker Colossus. Pretty nice cleanup there, but I think the big issue here, the big story of this is throughout, Little Reaper just continues to be pretty far behind in supply and still not even close to saturated on his natural.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm seeing that 160 team supply versus 110, 112, maybe up to 120. And that's a little bit concerning, especially because you do see that big laser giraffe tech unit out there as part of the mix. When it's well supported, it can cause some real trouble.
And it does have range.
Oof.
Okay. So much of this is going to be about attacking together. The Roaches got a little bit ahead, but they're looking good now. A single sentry coming down to... I don't think that sentry has enough energy for anything just yet either. This is looking bad for full deployment.
Yeah. I think that they're about to break that ramp. That spine is just barely holding together.
That sentry able to just get one little force field off.
I like the Immortal, but I think it needs something like a prison to keep it from getting chewed.
Yeah.
I definitely like how Sir Maligan's been able to keep that Colossus back from harm.
And targeting correctly.
Correct.
Kudos on that.
And we do have one DT coming out. Sir Maligan does have an observer that's... Yeah. Dark Templar was not long for the world, I'm afraid.
Without that observer, different story.
Yeah,
Pulls the Roaches back and goes forward, let them take the brunt of the hit.
Falling back the shield battery, that's losing energy unless he has the energy from the Nexus to recharge it.
The reinforcements are coming. The fresh. Look at this. CheesyNachos with the fresh army troops up front. Let them tank it out.
Now, from Sir Maligan, I would really like to see a Warp Prism for those instant reinforcements, but regardless, he's doing alright for himself.
Yeah. Just feeding the troops. Feeding the troops.
Yeah. And maybe for Antoine Q turning some of those injured Roaches into Ravagers just to get their health back. Just little things that can always be improved on. There's always something. But yeah, right now we're just kind of finding little things to pick out while they finish their win.
I agree. I think that micro might be better if you could devote the attention to it, but focusing on the macro is just yielding huge results.
Right.
It's about
just having more units, and they did throughout the match. We have the GG.
Well played, guys.
Nachos, Cheesers, or CheesyNachos? CheesyNachos. Quick first win on the charts.
Sir Maligan.
Okay,
I wonder what the game outline would come if Little Reaper had his natural saturated. I think it would be a very, very different game. You'd see.
Yeah, just needed a slightly cleaner beginning, so he had the money to back that up.
Exactly.
All right. So, Monkey Shaman, I don't see you right now.
I don't think I've changed anything, but let me look. I show me. Do you mean you don't see me in the StarCraft 2 client,
Yeah,
or you don't see
StarCraft 2
me?
client.
Let me try. Could you?
Yeah, are you under? What name are you under?
Here. Hello. I just sent KJ something. I
Okay,
don't
you can invite him.
see.
Yeah,
Do you find
also,
me?
if you just join the FSL chat.
I am here.
There we go. Alrighty. Okay, we
Awesome.
are ready to go. Next map is going to be Yellow Jacket.
All right. Hit accept.
Yep. Let's just get everyone in.
I see you, Monkey Shaman. You're in the lobby.
Right on.
Right on.
And
Looks like there's Reaper.
Yep.
And he's Protoss.
Yeah, we got everyone in.
Have you noticed the race switch there to Terran?
Oh, he switched it.
Yeah.
Could be interesting.
Yeah.
What?
No.
No,
Fake
okay.
out. He's
Okay, I was
Protoss,
wondering.
man.
Three racks proxy. Let's go.
Well,
Mirror match no more, or so we thought.
Yeah.
usually it's that nice powerful push. I don't really picture Little Reaper as cheesing all that much. He's usually a little bit cleaner, so that was a warm-up game. We will see what he does on this one. Once again, Protoss Zerg versus Protoss Zerg. This time in a map named after an insect or possibly a streaming series. I don't know. In the upper left, we have the light blue Zerg. He is
Von Lipwig.
his teammate, the Protoss in the blue. He is
Little Reaper.
and they are representing the team of
Pulled the boys.
All right, Monkey Shaman. How about you take the other side?
Can do. All right. You're looking at the lower left hand of the map. We have in the red, putting those drones to great effect. Speaks French, also speaks StarCraft fluently. It's Anton Q.
Oh,
Antoine.
yeah, you just stop and let the computer say the name. Yeah, give it another shot.
First time cap, but we'll do a little better each time. And here in the purple, playing for Team Storm, we have, and with Team Storm as well as his FSL team of the Polda Boys, we have.
What's that team again? Let's see.
That is team.
All right. Well, you're getting there. We have our way of doing things here, and the sole purpose is just to trip up the new guys.
No doubt. Hey, we're game 3 in this series. It's a long season. We're getting all the worries out. Get all the wiggles out.
So one thing I'm going to note here, we have very similar builds on both sides here.
Mm-hmm.
We do. I was curious if CheesyNachos, riding off of that first win, might try for something a little more cheesy themselves, thinking that their opponent might be a little nervous after the last one.
You need me show my hand. You need me show my hand this early in the season. I think for 2 seasons straight, I don't think any of us has practiced cheeses. I have a couple cheeses in my back pocket, but I do that maybe on a longer series, like a best of 5 or something like that. But in these best of 2s, I think we just play it straight up.
Honestly, it's great reverse psychology because we see the name and we assume that the cheese shall flow, but it's really more of a solid block of cheese than liquid cheese.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a block of cheese.
Here's the deal. You gotta practice your cheeses, and not just the cheese itself, what you follow up with, because you need to know when to lay off and go back to macroing, and then you also have to know what to follow it up with, and that's where a lot of the practice comes with. Rushing your opponent is all good, but if you're not able to keep the pressure up, then yeah, you killed a bunch of workers, but you also didn't make a lot. So
Yeah, you're even Steven at that point.
in some cases, you got to know how to continue to press your advantage once you've got it. And it can be very interesting, especially in 2v2, where, yeah, I mean, a lot of the time what you really want to do is cripple one player, take them out of the equation, and then gang up on the remaining one, or possibly have one player cheese, and then their teammate, all that time is macroing with a follow-up that the opposing team doesn't have a counter to yet because they were too busy building defenses. So there's a lot more layers to it.
So I'm seeing this 2 Reaper shade in, hoping to get some drone damage done by Little Reaper. It's a little different than the way he played with the Adepts last game, and I like it.
Yeah, I think he did a little bit more damage. He is keeping them out of the fight too, just focusing up, fake shade, and they are on their way out of there.
Like, look at Little Reaper. He is playing really safe. He has the shield batteries on his mineral lines. Yeah, he's no shenanigans today. Not against him.
Yeah, he wants to show people what he's really capable of. Unfortunately, yeah, those Adepts actually got caught off guard. They did not shade in time from there. Again, Mr. Maligan going for robotics facility tech, robotic support bay. Whereas from the side of Little Reaper, we are, as usual, going with a Twilight Council.
And we have that extended thermal lance already researching as well. So it looks like it will be a relatively similar composition, at least coming out of Maligan and Antoine.
Now, a big difference here, Von Lipweg going with a Baneling Nest.
Ooh.
Or, Antoine Gray. Actually, both of them. Both of them are. So I was right, you were right, we were all right that time. So one more thing I just wanted to add, as far as, you know how in a best of 3, sometimes it's worth it to follow up a win with a cheese, because you get that, you have that free, you know, extra life going, but that's not the case here. We are strictly playing for points.
That's right. Yeah.
So
you get 2 shots. That's it.
Right. Now, on the other hand, as we get to like game 5 or something, there might be a little bit more room for cheesing. But those are from different players. So Antoine Q going with the upgrades before pretty much anyone else.
And that's given Antoine, if you want to look at sort of the both sides here, we've got the blue Zerg had a little bit of a drone lead, but then morphed a bunch of structures right away. So I'm curious what this new construction is going to put out. It's an infestation pit going on in Von Lipweg's main. So I wonder what the tech is going to be.
And yeah, we're gonna be interviewing a little after this match, especially the newer players. So we will indeed be asking Von Lipweg that question about the origins of his name. Little Reaper still a little bit behind the rest of the players. Actually, he just moved ahead of Sir Maligan. His economy is a lot better this time. He's taking his 3rd right now.
Yeah.
Lipweg?
Depth drop in the lower left there.
Do you see the 4 investors in production now for our light blue Zerg?
Ooh, now that could be
That's the tricky tech that I was wondering what it's going to be. And you can see this building up at the Northwest Watchtower. He's got that Zergling Baneling force. I wonder if he's going to try to use those investors in some key battles just to throw some fungal.
I'm surprised that Von Lipweg didn't move in while their opponents were cleaning up those Adepts. That oftentimes can be a big part of 2v2. Just if your opponent is doing some damage, you do some more damage somewhere else with they're defending that. Here we go, head on. Oh, those Colossus really worth their investment here.
That was a great idea with the flank, but they were all light units, all Zerglings, Banelings. The Colossus will chew those. There's our infestors. Don't lose them. We got
the
3.
Infestors did get some fungals up, although I think he also fungled his teammate just a little before. More Banelings being morphed. We have Sonic Storm being researched, but that's going to be a while, even with Chrono Boost.
I'm concerned about this, actually, the Baneling composition when, you know, you're seeing all these big Protoss Robo and stalkers. That's
they're nice against the Zerglings, but again, it's just like the Colossus. You do not want the Banelands to target armored units. You want them to strictly target light units. And it's also, with all this range, especially Colossus, it's hard to get to actually reach the targets.
Yep. And Little Reaper just did lose his mineral line to a combination of those light attacks. The Banes and the Lings are taking down that Nexus, so not looking good there.
I just don't think either of the players from Pull the Boys had an answer to those Colossus. And it's not even that many Colossus, but just a couple of them can add so much damage throughout. And alright, we did get a nice Psystorm in, but there's still plenty of health to go.
Yeah.
Struggles in CBP. When I see those Colossi, even like, if you say like, oh, I have Hydras out, by the time they get to the Colossi burns them up. It's like, for me, it's like either Corruptors or Mutalisk is the only real counter to
Well, yeah, you either want some heavily armored units, some siege units, or some flying units. Any one of those will work. And we have the GG. Nachos has taken both the 2v2 matches.
And any fan of FSL, we know we're just starting. We're there. 2 wins means honestly nothing.
It's a lead. It's a good thing to start with.
Yeah. Win's a win, but we're just getting started. Good game, y'all.
Good game.
All right, CheesyNachos has taken the first of our best of 2s. And I gotta say, Sir Maligan, those Colossus were worth their weight in very, very tall gold.
Yeah. First thing had to pump out.
Do a little bit of adjustments here. Now, first of all, we just wanted to get to know our newer players a little bit. Antoine Q, welcome. I know you were working with a translator. How did that feel?
Comment t'as vécu la game, Antoine?
À la première partie, j'ai eu peur parce que je pensais qu'ils allaient all-in, parce que le Protoss avait pas de deuxième base au début. Ça m'a fait peur, mais avec le counter-attack, on a pu faire quelque chose.
Okay, so he initially thought that in the first game they were going to all in because the Protoss had no second base, no natural. So he was a bit scared, but in the second game he was a bit more confident in his build.
Okay. And just want to take an opportunity. Number one, just tell us a little about your history in StarCraft. Number two, tell us about the name Antoine Q and where that comes from.
Il a deux choses à te demander. Si déjà, comment t'as rencontré le jeu StarCraft et l'origine de ton nom.
L'origine de StarCraft.
Comment
Mon père avait joué il y a très longtemps. J'ai connu ça comme ça. Et mon nom, c'est juste mon nom, avec les premières lettres de mon nom de famille.
Okay, so he first played StarCraft because of his father. So his father showed him StarCraft, so he started to play StarCraft. And then his nickname is simply just his name and the first letter of his last name.
All right. Don't read too much into it, right?
He's following in the footsteps of the world champ, Monsieur Clément.
Yeah.
All right. And Von Lipweg, we actually had some questions in Twitch chat. Your name, is that from Going Postal?
Yeah, the Terry Pratchett series. Big fan of the Discworld.
Okay. And how, just generally, your first FSL 2v2 match, how'd that feel for you?
Tough loss, but it was fun to get a couple investors on the field. Game 2.
I saw them. They got their fungals off. Going Postal, a Discworld novel. Okay, cool. I'll have to take a closer peek at that. All right, and Nachos and Monkey Shaman, did you have any questions before we move on to our 1v1 matches?
Guys, what does this mean? about 2v2 and how we adapt to that format when we have really strong 1v1 players. What do you think the big takeaways are for the adjustments that you make for 2v2?
Donc Antoine, sachant que tu es un bon joueur 1v1, quels ajustements tu fais dans tes builds pour que ça soit bien pour le 2v2?
Tiens. Ah, je vais au feeling.
Okay, so he's just feeling it. He's basically taking 1v1 builds and adapting them for the 2v2s, but he's just feeling it, you know? If he's getting attacked, he's just add a couple of Zerglings in the mix.
Et surtout que
Right
les
on.
1v1, ça n'existe même pas ce que je fais.
And Sir
And
Maligan, I guess Sir Maligan and
Yeah.
Little Reaper, both of you, I'd like to just ask, both of you are playing a little bit. Sorry, tongue got tied here, but have you had a chance to play with them? I know Little Reaper, you were a last-minute substitute. Was that a little bit rushed for you?
Yeah, I was not ready
Yeah.
for this.
Okay, I noticed you played a lot better the second match, so sometimes it's all about the warm-up. And I know you're going to be playing our next match against Nachos here.
Wait, I thought Code B won first. Oh,
Okay, yep. Now you're all warmed up. Look out.
Yeah. Hey, Little Reaper, good job on you. What I counted on you from between game 1 and game 2, it's like with the mistakes that you made in game 1, you shored that up in game 2. Like you corrected those, like from game to game. A lot of players don't do that, so good job on that.
Yeah, I think hiding your prism too would be good, because when we saw your prism, we knew you guys were coming. So I said, "Oh, prism." But that's what both of me and Anton was like. Oh, prism in the middle in the field. So we knew you guys were coming. So I guess that's why we were able to push you guys back the counter attack. Now to answer the question earlier about strong 1v1 players and then playing 2v2s, I think the takeaway there is that when you play 2v2s, it's just all about communication, really. You know, Antoine and I were just making sure that, hey, if we're pushing at 6, let's push at 6. So make sure that your build, you're pumping out units by 6 or 5 minute mark, right? So sometimes even me and KJ were so good at playing 1-on-1, but the problem is when we play 2v2s, we tend to do everything differently because we don't communicate earlier on. So I might be going air and it might be doing something else. So it's all about communication, really.
And Sir Maligan, is that a StarCraft T-shirt? I can only.
Oh yeah,
got it from.
Got it from.
I think I see a Psy blade in there. That's why I'm asking.
Ah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I got
where'd
this.
You get it?
We got this from what was it? California. KJ and I we went there. It was a BattleCon or something. Forgot what it was called. It's a big event that they do. with
BlizzCon,
Blizzard.
you mean?
There you go, please.
Oh, okay, just that.
Little thing.
The good old days when they actually mentioned StarCraft there.
I know, right?
I
so
love it.
we were kind of fortunate. We were there when StarCraft was still big.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Stage.
Well, we're gonna move on to our next 1v1 match. We can keep Nachos and Little Reaper in the chat, and Monkey Shaman. Make sure you join the lobby. Thank you very much, and at least with Antoine Q, we'll be seeing you later as well.
All right. Good game, guys.
Good game.
All right, Antoine. Hey, Antoine. No.
Static.
Yeah, I'm just moving everyone. All right, so. All right, Little Reaper. So it's time now that you're warmed up, and then Nachos. You said that you've had a chance to prepare for Little Reaper a bit.
Oh yeah. I mean, like I said, versus Protoss, it's not my strongest. Especially, we talk about all the pain points in that. But I know I do have a build, something I've been working on for a long, long time. So all I can do is just execute it to the best of my ability, and let's roll. So.
All right. Well. Yeah, believe me, I know. All right. Well, I mean, both of you had a chance to pretty much talk plenty, so we can move ahead here. And then just get your races chosen. I'm going to be moving you out of this voice, and we will get it on. Little Reaper, I got Plat 1 Zerg, finally. All right. Yeah, it's been interesting. I know there's a lot of players who have been trying out other races, or you got achievement hunters like me who are just nuts that way. But they say they're ready. Protoss versus Zerg right now.
Right on.
All right, Monkey Shaman. How familiar are you? Have you seen? You've seen these two play plenty, right?
I have seen both of these two play. Nachos, I was one of his victims when he was Code B on his way rapidly to Code A. Yes.
You are watching.
And I'm stoked for this.
In the upper right, we have the red Protoss. He is
Little Reaper.
And he is playing for the team of
Pulled the Boys.
All right, take it.
And in the lower left, with the purple Zerg drones, we have
Nachos.
And he is playing for none other than the team of
CheesyNachos.
Notice the namesake there, CheesyNachos. Nachos is the captain of that team.
Yep. Yes, he is. And yeah, I think more than a lot of the teams, they well, I guess kind of a maybe 3 versus 2 split. I know that War Bunnies went with Angry Space Heroes, and Revenant Rage went with Rage's Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
But then, yeah, we got Pulled the Boys, which is a bit more of a in-game tactic, and Infinite Cyclists, which is on the very dense lore of StarCraft.
Not deepest lore, but deep enough.
Deep enough, but you know, it was fun because I've had a bunch of people try to make sense of that, and I'm like, well, if you've either read the Dark Templar trilogy or played all the way through Legacy of the Void campaign, you'd know what it is.
I get it.
For the record, and this is appropriate, it's Zerg versus Protoss. The Xel'Naga created the Zerg and Protoss, and kind of over a long series of time, 2 of their creations are supposed to replace them and become the new Xel'Naga. That is the Infinite Cycle, which, well, you know, there's some people where they're trying to disrupt it here and there.
And maybe it was worth disrupting.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it made for some fun content. You got to give it that.
It did.
I know there are some StarCraft people just writhing hearing me talk about the end of Legacy of the Void in a positive light, but I enjoyed it. All right, so yep, basic natural wall with an adept filling in the gap. We have Nachos getting ready to take a third.
I like this scouting probe coming back in from Little Reaper. I think that is good timing, just to check on his opponent. He'll be able to tell.
Yeah, I also really like the scouting Overlord for Nachos because, you know, a lot of people just kind of leave it at the entrance, but in order for a unit to fill in the gap in the wall, it's a little bit longer before they can afford to actually send anything after the Overlord. And here comes the Adeptoress, 2 of them, taking down 2 drones, 3 drones, 4 drones. And then there they are in the main.
Oh ho ho! This is destructive.
No drones are being pulled here. And we're having Nachos just...
Oh man,
yeah, there we go, even more.
the back and forth with those adepts. Little Reaper is dancing right now, and those Zerglings that are about to pop will be able to clean them up. But in the meantime, that was economic devastation.
Yeah, you
Still
need to
ongoing.
already have the Zerglings out to surround. You're going to
Yeah.
lose some of those Zerglings, but better them than the workers. And you need to be ready to intercept wherever those shades are going, while also being ready for the eventuality that they might cancel the shades. So it takes practice.
I think that Nachos, like he said, his team tends to practice solid strategies without Cheese, and he himself, I think, is the backbone of that. So he's going for a pretty greedy, but solid economy-based build rather than getting out early units. And then, those adepts were able to capitalize on that weakness in his defenses and do a fair bit of damage.
Yeah, I think it's fairly standard as far as Zerg openings go. The big issue was just how late he was with the initial Zerglings.
Yeah, I think it's the difference between getting 2 drones and getting 4 Zerglings can be a lot at this stage of the game.
Yeah, that early Adept Harass/Scout, also pretty standard, but it's one of those things where if it gets some initial damage done, it can run away. And here we go. Little Reaper loves to warp some guys in right around this time, and he figures if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He is sending in a couple of Adepts to do the same thing again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, warping in some more on top of that.
Yeah. Check out the supply. So Protoss being ahead of Zerg in supply by about 20 at this stage, and a lot of it strong army supply. I think we're about to see a complete loss of drones if he doesn't get them out of there.
Right, he just doesn't have an answer to this. He doesn't have Roach Tech yet. It's almost ready, but this has just been a classic example of Little Reaper hitting before his opponent's ready for this much aggression. And right around when he excels. So he is very much in his element this time around.
Yeah. Nachos has lost control of the game.
Nacho's doing a bit better pulling the workers, but right now, yeah, these 4 Zerglings aren't going to do anything, and he noticed that. Anytime now, he could lose that layer, and that's doubly bad.
Yeah. That Zealot warp in right now, I think, was a great choice because the Adepts are great against those light units, but they don't really do much against buildings. And while he's trying to just destroy, the main hive cluster there, those Zealots and Stalkers are going to put in better work.
Yeah, it's interesting. When Zerg buildings get destroyed, there's a bunch of little broodlings that get released. The Adepts do very well against those, at least.
That's true. This spawning pool will pop out a few of those little birdie boys, won't it?
It's going to continue to snowball. There's really nothing Nachos can do against this at this point. He's just going to keep losing more units.
Yeah.
Here we have the GG. Little Reaper puts one on the charts.
Nicely done.
Yep. Pretty flawless. He got in there, and he just kept pushing further.
Little Reaper had those couple warm-up games. I think that's may have helped him just to be completely ready going into this one.
All right, Persephone is our next map. Yeah, Nacho's just shaking it off. Little Reaper, he's got a bit of a smirk. Just
he's smiling. He's happy.
Yeah.
Little Reaper likes to win. Is used to winning. I think feels comfortable when he's
Yep, and the rest of us are used to losing to someone a quarter of our age. It's become part of our game here. Monkey Shaman, go ahead and join the lobby again.
All right, flicking between windows.
Yep.
I'm here.
And notice Nachos in his stylish Psystorm gaming jersey. He was mentioning that earlier.
Hyperturtle, you may have the keenest eye in the land for detecting StarCraft-related memorabilia.
I like to prove that I'm not the only person who wastes a lot of money on this stuff. Okay, I think Little Reaper had to step away for just a moment. But yes, there's stuff I have, and there's a lot of stuff I want too. But right now the main thing is just unlocking more stuff with the achievements, and the only achievements I have left are the 1v1s. I have unlocked the achievements in every other game mode. So 1,000 wins is each race. That's what I'm, trying to work towards. And I might figure that into my own personal stream too, like actually have a scoreboard of where I'm at with those wins.
That'd be amazing. I mean, so 3,000 wins total there. How
And
far?
I'm over halfway. I'm
Excellent.
actually no, I'm just short of halfway. I think I'm at like 1492, something about that. Little Reaper has returned. I love that. It's like announcing when the Torask comes in to attack the What is that? And what is that in co-op? Oh, not a stank. Those things are impervious to sunlight. But yes, I experienced StarCraft in a lot of different ways. And yes, Great Archon, I am very much doing random first, so that I don't have to get more than 3,000 total wins. I'm at 629 right now on random.
That's approaching.
Alright, there we go. Yeah, StarCraft 2's been out for a while, so I've been capitalizing on that, but yes.
Saying that you've got every achievement in it is something that very, very few can lay claim to. So,
right, it's like Grandmaster abs. Too many people already have that.
Mm-hmm.
There's no bragging anymore.
No.
Alright. In the upper left, the Protoss, the blue, up one map, he is.
Little Reaper.
And he represents the team of.
Hold the boys.
Monkey Shaman.
I am here, and in the lower left with the purple Zerg drones, we have none other than
Nachos.
And he is the captain of the team known as
CheesyNachos.
All right.
I think what Nachos needs to do this match is just make sure that he knows what's coming, that he's got enough units to counter it. So, don't get your hatcheries on time, get your workers out. Just make sure you got the defensive units too.
I agree with that. You have to have units that fight to prevent your units that don't dying.
What is Little Reaper up here? Is there a proxy? No, I don't think that's a proxy. I think he just got a little bit mixed up because this is one of those maps where you're not in opposite corners of each other.
Mm-hmm.
But
if you
in the end,
go ahead.
Yeah, I think he's still going to be able to get a pretty good idea about when the spawning pool started. But yeah, what were you saying?
Well, I was saying, if you remember the 2v2 matches, we had Nachos providing some, I think, pointed and accurate praise to Little Reaper, saying, you saw what you made mistakes with in your first match, and you made the adjustments, and you were solid from there. I'm wondering if he's going to be able to do the same for himself now that he's in the hot seat.
That's part of it, and it is very easy to get distracted, especially if you're up against an aggressive opponent. You want to make sure you've got enough units. You want to try to avoid making too many units, especially as Zerg, where larva is something you don't always have as much of as you'd want.
Yeah. Zerg is interesting like that. Terran and Protoss, and all the races have supply, but Zerg's the only one that seems to almost have a third resource beyond the minerals and gas. They have larva.
Well, and the fourth one, creep. So yes, there's a lot you have to think of as Zerg.
You're right.
One of the big tricks I've learned is if I don't have enough larva, get another queen started. You can never have too many queens.
Yeah. Queens are sort of orbital commands, sort of photon cannons.
They're the macro mechanic, among other things, yes. More queens means more larva. More queens means more creep. More queens means more defense, especially defense against flying units and against anything that does extra damage against light.
Yeah.
So yeah, keep them coming. Queens don't require larva, so
no, they
if
don't.
you got the resources there, yeah. Now, one thing I really want to point out here that I'm a little bit concerned about, no Zerglin speed. And he's already going up to lair tap.
Yeah.
So
And without they can't really fight off creep, and even catching some of the faster units and the tricky ones like the Adepts with the Shade is going to be really difficult, even on creep.
Yeah, I'm very curious what Nacho's plan is here right now, because he hasn't taken a third yet, and he hasn't really gotten a tech build in either, aside from starting that lair. Is this going to be like a Mutalisk or Nidus Worm? I'd like to know what the lair is for.
Yeah. I was thinking he would go for Roaches for safety if he wasn't going to invest in the Zerglings, but I haven't seen that Roach Warren. There it is. Yeah, he's popping it down a little later. So again, he wanted the eco first, but it is costing him a little time in getting those structures that he'll need to produce better units.
Right now he's got those 8 Zerglings. Unfortunately for him, Little Reaper so far has built 1 Zealot, 1 Immortal, and that's it. But the Warp Prism's on its way, so at regularly scheduled, there's gonna be a warp into his base before very much longer.
Mm-hmm. Look at this Overlord spread from Nachos, by the way. Can we take a moment to just appreciate the beauty? He is getting vision.
Now, granted, it would be even more impressive if he was going the Pebbles route and swinging them around in a circle, but, substance over style this round, right?
Oh, he's going to catch the Prism. That goes right through his field of view. So what's he able to do about it? He's seen it.
He's just starting his Roaches. That Immortal could actually do quite a bit of damage against them, though.
Yeah. So now the Prison is in that sort of dead space, or dead zone of his vision between his Overlord. Yeah. He should know where it is, though. You saw him move those couple lings up to the north of his base, ready to catch anything that's planning to warp.
Go.
We have action.
All right, we got the Warpins going. Little Reaper actually picking up and dropping some of his units. Those Roaches should do all right. Now, the Immortal also doesn't do any extra damage against Queens. He doesn't. I don't think he's got enough energy for any transfuses, any heals, but this is working out. This is working out so far. The Immortal is the main threat here. And Little Reaper back off. Now, Nacho's economy this time around still has some catching up to do. He's only just about to finish the hatchery at his third.
I think it's kind of a nasty timing for a supply block, too.
Oh, there's never a good time for a supply block, unless you're Terran and you have a lot of extra energy, but... See what we've got here. Stalkers are the main focus at the moment. Alright, Twilight Council and the Forge is almost done, along with the second robotics facility. Upgrades going, and I like that Nachos is making a couple of Overseers, because Little Reaper... He enjoys Dark Templar as a way to just instantly end the game.
Yeah. Now with those 1-1 for the Missile and Carapace, those Roaches are now, they had a good little power spike because level 1 ground weapons are just starting now for Little Reaper. I want to see if Nachos capitalizes on that with aggression, or if he's still planning on using them as sort of safety Roaches. He's morphing... He's just got 1 Ravager in the mix right now.
Infestor Pit almost done. I'd like to know what the big plan is. I wouldn't mind seeing a couple of Ravagers either, because the most beautiful thing that those do against Protoss aggression is just instantly kill the Warp Prism. And that is golden.
I think that's the name of the game, is Roach Ravager, because he just put 7 more Roaches into production that are popping just now, and look at that army supply of Nachos just took a spike of 21.
So much different than last map. Just as you were saying, how much did he learn from the last match? I think he's learned a bit. He's definitely got a powerful army. I'd like to see a little bit more economy, but at this point, but I can't argue. He is he's gotten through with such minimal damage so far.
Yeah. No, this is going to be a nasty little push. We've got about, what is that? Almost like 20-ish Roaches. Let me look at it.
Click U. So it is, he has 25 Roaches, 3 Ravagers.
Yeah. That will put in a hurt.
And as they like to say, Roaches tend to be supply inefficient as far as their efficiency goes.
Right,
here we go. Here come the Biles.
Look at these.
Managed to catch one of the Immortals.
Yeah. it's a great Roach Force, but I mean, Reaper has the counter there in the form of those Immortals. They will be able to put some down.
A little bit with that Sentry too, so.
Yeah.
Nacho still has the army advantage, but Immortals are so much more supply efficient than Roaches are.
They are. They are. Oh, and he moving away, no Biles.
Right. Yeah, Little Reaper did a great job avoiding those Biles and just holding out through this. Right now, Roaches just aren't the answer to these Immortals.
Yeah. Well, Nachos realized that and got out of there with the Ravagers, which are pretty expensive.
Yep. Hydralisk Den going down. Hydralisk, yeah, they do pretty well against Immortals, but he's got to survive this next push. So much positioning is going to be such a big part of this.
Yeah. I feel, though, especially down supply, although he's coming warping in right now, Lil Reaper is about 2/3 of the supply of higher quality stuff. So this next sort of set of engagements, I think will probably decide the game.
I'd like to heal up for Serpents, honestly. Those Roaches just don't last long against Immortals. Immortals, with their extra barrier, they can survive a long time, even more so with a Warp Prism next to them. And they do such rapid damage against armored units. 8 gateways in production for Little Reaper. Now, both of them in a little bit of a low economy game compared to what you'd expect sometimes. They're both in the 60s as far as workers go. Nachos does have a 4th hatchery on the way, and Little Reaper he's ready to send a Warp Prism in.
So notice that Nachos also started that Groove Spines. Production for his Hydras is about 2/3 of the way done, but he hasn't built any. Ooh.
A lot of Zealots here, and these things can overwhelm very quickly. And those Roaches having to take the long way back.
Yeah. Oh, he's killing the Hydra Den before 2 seconds before the spines finish. That is just a beautiful snipe.
Right, he did drive them away, so tech damage, not as much damage as he might have been at risk on, but yeah, he needs to leave some defenses back in that base, because you see these Roaches at this point, if that happens again, they have to go back through the natural again, all the way up the ramp to the main. Little Reaper could even potentially block off that ramp, so they can't make it back in.
He could. Now, Nachos, seeing his Hydra Den going down, did manage to squeeze out 8 Hydras onto the field, but those are the only 8 he's going to have until it's rebuilt. And they won't really have key upgrades that make them good fighters, the range and the speed.
Yeah, he does have another Hydra Den completed now. A Lurker Den is also being made. That's to be interesting. Usually Little Reaper tries to get a bit more of an advantage by this point in the game. Nacho is still ahead in army supply, but again, a lot of that's Roaches.
No, I think this is a
Storm jump about to finish.
Yeah.
There we go. There's that electricity.
Beautiful storms.
Still, they're holding out.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm more concerned about the Immortals.
I think the storms are there to soften them up, so those Immortals would just one
Immortals
hit
can just push
left.
them.
Yeah.
And here, at this point, yeah, Little Reaper is twice the army now.
Yeah, I think he can just kind of A-move those Protoss units across the map and at least destroy a base, if not win, if he decides to really commit to it with some reinforcements.
He's got the defenses against the Warp Prism, but this Zealot, Archon, Immortal army right at his front door again.
I think they call that CIA, right? Charge Lot Immortal Archon, and it's known for being very effective without needing a lot of micromanagement. Those units
One of those classic compositions that goes all the way back to Into Liberty.
Yeah.
And the Lurker Den was destroyed without any Lurkers having been morphed.
Seismic Spines they spent the money on it too, and that is not a cheap upgrade. I think that everything's coming up Little Reaper on this one. Yeah, twice the supply. There's going to be a GG in about 6 seconds.
Nachos was able to hold off, and there's the GG.
Well played.
All right, Pulled the Boys gets 2 points on the match. We are at a tie right now. Nachos, you took a lot of damage early on the first match. Second match, you were a lot more defensible, but I think the big issue was just that the Roaches didn't match up well against the Immortals.
Yeah, that's not the answer for that. Very good game. Very good game.
Yeah,
Nachos,
and
did it hurt your soul a little bit when that Hydra then blew up to those nasty zealots in the main?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah. It's like, yeah, that Hydra didn't going down, so I'm gonna have to take it out. Yeah.
Because I could see your gears turning. The safety roaches, the good push, the pressure, and then the missile upgrades were way ahead. And you're going for this Roach, Hydra, Lurker synergy that should work really well against a gateway-based Protoss army. The Lurker spines, if we ever saw any of those flying around, would make short work of a lot of stuff. But Reapers seem to snipe you at just the right moments to destroy those key structures and prevent your ranged units from ever really getting the good stuff out.
Yeah, and it's like you know, a good counter, you know, like with charge lots, good counter would have been Banelings. But when you're vested in that direction of like air, or excuse me, missile upgrades with the Roach Hydra combo, yeah, my Zerglings will be a little bit behind. Obviously, I have no Banelings.
I noticed a big issue was just that that Zergling speed metabolic boost didn't get researched that second game.
Yeah, because I use that gas for to go to lair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a sacrifice. If I'm trying to get quicker roaches, so yeah, I may tweak that. Come back with an
I think
build.
the lair I think was just a lot earlier than needed, earlier than you could take advantage from it. So that's just the thing I'd keep an eye on. Little Reaper, happier with the way that one went?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Little Reaper, how does it feel to be such a force of nature with those adept shades going back and forth, just making the life of any worker nullified?
I mean, it kind of feels fun.
Good. It looks like you're having fun ping-ponging between bases, and you're putting out great early game damage that I think sets the whole tone for the rest of the games. So nice play.
So 16 workers were killed in game one by those two adepts. Yeah, that's cost efficiency right there. So, yep, just a little bit of practice on the early game, but Nachos, you definitely held up a lot better the second game. And yeah, exactly. It's you gotta have a few Zerglings ready to deal with that, at least to slow them down and absorb some damage. So, all right. So, Little Reaper, well done. You're pulling it back to an even matchup between the two teams. Next match, we're going to switch things around. Nachos is going to cast with me while Monkey Shaman here is going to be playing. Is that right?
I think you are correct. And I'm going to try my best against Sergeant ABC. He thrashed me last season. He was the #1 draft pick in the entire league. So, no pressure. We'll get some good games in, hopefully.
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to protect the innocent and the guilty. I can't tell you how many conversation DMs that I got with picking Sergeant ABC. Not that I did anything wrong, but I did everything right. And like, how could it? I was getting trade offers for Sergeant ABC. I was like, listen, we set the expectation with all the captains. It's like, listen, Kobe is king. You don't have Kobe, you're gonna lose your 2 games. I went Kobe first pick of the draft. Easy decision, best decision I ever made.
Yeah, that's something I've heard echoed from other teams as well. That yeah, code B, we just don't have as many of them. We need to you need to have them ready to go, and preferably you need one who's almost at code A level, but not quite.
Well, I'm gonna tell you.
All right. Speaking of which, Sergeant ABC, we were just talking about you.
Yeah.
I heard that. I felt like a superstar, man. I did. That's cool. That's cool. I appreciate it, guys.
Yep. Sergeant ABC has been hanging around a bit. He was actually cheering me on a bit while I've been trying to get into ladder shape a little bit more for my stream.
Yeah, I saw that. You're doing pretty good. I just burst Med Junior on a 1v1, and I stayed alive for 6.5 minutes. I'm okay with that.
Oh, a holdout challenge. I love it. Yeah, in Twitch chat, KJ is saying, yeah, Sergeant ABC, more like Sergeant MVP. Am I right?
MVP. Oh my god.
And Monkey
No,
Shaman, we've been hearing. Oh, go on.
Oh, you're good.
All right, Monkey Shaman, we've been hearing your voice plenty. You ready for us to see your gameplay?
As ready as I'll ever be. Like I said, I am resigned to knowing that my opponent is very strong, also super good dude. Nobody is going to be sad if they lose a Code B match to Sergeant ABC, but it's not my plan. I'm going to try to win. So good luck.
And
Best of luck to you, bud.
Likewise. I'm going to close that.
Okay,
Twitch
here.
window.
We're just going to. You're a Medic Junior. Medic Junior. Just wanted to get a few words from you since we missed you the first match due to the classic time zone stuff, and you're not alone there. We have people who are in Europe or Africa, and the math there is just ridiculous. But we just wanted a few words from you about your team, just maybe some words of encouragement to Sergeant ABC. We just wanted to get you on camera, really.
I think in the early game of the 1v1 we just played, Sergeant did pretty well. He understands what to do in TVZ. I think that's the best I can say about him, which is pretty nice for his level. And then I'm really happy at Little Reaper, actually.
Oh yeah, that was a great match.
Yeah. Little Reaper's a force to be reckoned with, and it's and the scary thing is he's probably gonna get better as he grows up. So, I mean, I'll say it straight up. I'm afraid, but it's time. Right now, it's about Monkey Shaman and Sergeant ABC. So we're gonna be getting them in there, and yeah, we just wanted to give you a quick opportunity to introduce yourself, Medic Junior, because we know we'll be getting you into another team game pretty soon.
Medic Junior.
I was already introduced a few streams ago, right?
Okay, fair enough.
Still good.
Okay, yeah.
Monkey stream.
Monkey on a string.
Monkey. I said monkey stream. I meant Monkey Shaman. No, make units. I mean, all I can say is make units, because if I remember last time, your production was low. So I'm only saying that because I want to play and have fun with you, man.
I'll give you as best a game as I can squeeze out. We'll see how it goes, but I hopefully won't be dying just from not having stuff when I need it. Because workers versus roaches, that's not a very good matchup. We'll see how it goes this time.
And just quick reminder, in between the two matches, you can put in the lobby chat if you want to talk to someone else from your team, just to get some strategy together. But for now, I'm going to be putting you to your separate lobbies, and we will be moving ahead.
All right. And close this Twitch window.
Good.
Yep. We do not tolerate... we do encourage people to watch the VOD on YouTube afterwards, but not during the game, if they're playing. All right. Nachos, how you doing? We get to... I kind of like this kind of thing, where we have three casters, and we just kind of alternate the co-casters.
That's fun.
Yes, indeed. All right. Making sure everyone's ready. But yeah, there's a lot of... Okay, I will...
But let's roll.
Off mic right now? Yeah. Alright, yeah, let's go for it. But yeah, I can think of a lot of fun variations in Sergeant ABC. We could do, Sergeant AMA for when we interview him. We could do, Sergeant PVZ.
Oh yeah.
Depending who he's up against.
You are watching
Shaman's playing around.
Yeah, he's a random guy. He reminds me of me in season 7. I went random to discover my love for the Zerg.
Yep, sometimes you gotta experiment a bit. In the upper right, we have the yellow Zerg. He is
Sergeant ABC.
And he is playing for the team of
CheesyNachos.
In the bottom left-hand corner, in the light green, we have the one, the only
Monkey Shaman.
Playing for team
Pulled the Boys.
Oh yes, the classic knife fight in a phone booth.
Yep, and I gotta say, I like Monkey Shaman's intro there, the classic "Just Bring It."
Just bring it. Yeah. In team chat, Antoine Q told me, he was like, "I really hope I don't roll ZBC. That is my least favorite in my worst matchup." And I was like, "Man, we're playing random. You know, anybody doing random, we're gonna go ZBC here. Look at there."
Yeah, I definitely like playing random, but there's always one race that's lagging at least a little behind the others, and there's always that whole deal where, okay, I like this race, but not in this matchup. But here we go.
Here we go.
Monkey Shaman scouting with the drone as well as the Overlord, and this is it's kind of level where, I mean, you might not really know what to make of what you're seeing when you scout. And it's also possible that your opponent might not really be playing to a meta that they're not very practiced with, so it's pretty easy to misinterpret what you're seeing too. The big thing is just knowing the amount of resources your opponent's likely to have, and that's whether they've expanded, whether they already have attack units, just the basic stuff about whether it's safe for you to expand.
That is right.
I like this with Sergeant ABC, already preparing to take an expansion, take his third.
Mm-hmm. Sergeant ABC with the link speed, up and running.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what Monkey Shaman is going to do.
Monkey Shaman's picking on one of the Overlords. Ooh, yeah, I don't know. You can get on creep, he might be able to make it.
Yeah.
I love the eternal... I love the idea of a race between unupgraded Overlords and Queens off creep, because they go about the same speed as... What it reminds me of a little bit, for those who, whether you liked it or not, who saw, what was The Last Jedi in Star Wars Episode 8, whatever that was. Yeah, the whole thing where basically the whole conflict is just a few ships flying away from an entire fleet as one blast after another hits them and gradually damages them. Not very exciting, but Queen versus Overlord, I have a taste for it.
I do too. Yeah. Yeah. You lose track of your OV, and the Queen's going to take advantage.
Right. And of course, there's some cases where you just queue up another one, and it can be worth it to get the intel. Yeah. But you always want to keep that in mind, whether or not it's going to be vulnerable. All right, Sergeant ABC coming in. He's ahead in army supply right now.
Yep. Yeah. That link speed for Monkey Shaman will kick in if he does not. Yeah. 10 seconds away.
Banelin's being morphed too. This is the kind of thing that could go a lot of directions very quickly, but yeah, army supply is evening out a bit, but Sergeant ABC well ahead as far as workers go.
I'm going to see what Sergeant ABC, is he going to lead with the Banes and pull back the Lings and let the Ling speed catch up? Yeah, he's just coming in.
And also making sure that the Banes don't explode on a Queen or something.
Queen, yeah.
All right.
Queens can take that for
There we go.
Surround. Yeah, get the surround. Oh no.
Yeah. It is very tricky because your units will kind of auto attack themselves too.
No doubt.
You see very quickly we're seeing a lot go down, and the supplies stay pretty close. But I think the story of it, though, is the fact that Sergeant ABC, regardless of how that went, has a lot more workers.
That's right.
And it is easy to forget to make workers or for your attention to go elsewhere as Zerg, because a lot of the time you just don't have the extra larva. Here we go. Monkey
And
Shaman is taking
I'm
his
looking
bait.
at Sergeant ABC's build. That's a classic 31 drones. Yeah, and just he's gonna ling flood this out. There he goes. Okay, now he's creeping up on drone count. There you go. Yeah, coming in from the back. Yeah, straight
I
on,
like this.
head on.
I'm going to compliment Monkey Shaman had a nice sort of wall of Zerglings in front of 2 queens. That's a very good way to have things set up before the fight.
Yep.
Yeah, positioning is very key in ZVZ.
No doubt. Although
Monkey Shaman didn't make one Bane. Maybe it's a fake, or maybe he's just been preoccupied. Sergeant ABC researching Bane speed right now and immediately putting money back to the Zerglings. He's lost a lot of Zerglings in these, but at the same time, he's just continued to get a further economic lead.
Yep. Now, Sergeant ABC is. It looks like he might be tech switching to roaches, but I don't see him building a roaches. But he's doubling down. Oh, Sergeant ABC
Fire.
with the. Yes, things are getting interesting.
Very interesting. Mutalisks, they can do a good amount of damage, especially against little units.
Mm-hmm.
They can't take a lot of damage, and a lot of it comes down to whether those spore crawlers are up, whether those queens are ready.
That's right. I would like to see from Sergeant ABC. You have that Spire coming. You're gonna need 6 gases, 5 at least. But I feel more comfortable with 6 gases is going.
Yeah, there's gonna be between the Mutalisks and the Banelings, you know.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. So far, it's been Sergeant ABC solely on the offensive.
No Banelings as they roll in.
Monkey Shaman is actually making some Banelings now. Yeah. What they connect with is the big deal.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my! Oh my!
He is
oh
right
my!
clicking them through.
There's an X coming. Oh, there we go.
11 workers
going.
just like that. 61 drones
17.
to 11 right now.
Oh, brutal.
And
an ack.
GG.
GG.
Sergeant ACK.
There you go. Sergeant ABC getting it done.
CheesyNachos.
All right. CheesyNachos get another win.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. You know, I'm reviewing my game notes in my head. Is Monkey Shaman just a couple tweaks here and there? He would be mirroring Sergeant ABC the entire game, just a little bit.
I think it just comes down to workers. If he had enough workers, then he would have been further ahead with each of those attacks that he defended.
Yeah. If you don't got the workers, you don't got the minerals. You don't got the minerals, you don't got the units.
Churches.
Apologies. Hold on, wait. All right, there we go.
Okay, just one moment. Okay, I'm back. My mother called with a computer tech question.
What was the computer question?
A couple of pop-ups about low memory, and
Ah,
I'm gonna have to just take that tomorrow.
oh, congratulate my son, 12 years old. He downloaded his first virus on his Windows
All right.
machine. These are good times.
Coming of age.
Yeah, coming of age is like welcome to the big time.
And yes, I love how many people are just kind of pining about the Brood War days. I'm playing around with some ways to do it, but I definitely want to host some Brood War matches. Nothing that counts towards anything, but I want to see where people are at with that. Here, one moment.
Yeah.
This is correct. Okay. So Sergeant ABC isn't be playing Terran this time.
Oh my.
And then we don't know what Monkey Shaman's gonna be. Yeah, I love random, but it can really pay off to kind of focus on one at a time.
Yep.
You know, try to get comfortable as one, then move to next, then to next.
You are watching
Yeah.
FSL.
I love this battle.
Torches. Alright, in the upper right, we have the red. Terran he is.
Sergeant ABC.
And he is playing for the team of
CheesyNachos.
In the bottom right, we have none other than
Monkey Shaman.
playing for
Pulled the boys.
and I'm waiting with bated breath if Sergeant ABC meant to play Terran, because sometimes they,
he's playing anyway, so
rock and roll.
I guess
Do
he's
it.
whether he meant to or not, he's going through with it. And I did ask whether the races were correct.
Yeah, I know.
And yes,
Keep
I'm
going
well
with it.
aware. It's the mod is called SC Evolution, and yes, we've done a little bit of that, no doubt. I still don't understand some of it because I know they've done their best to kind of replicate how things work in StarCraft 1 for those units, but I'm a little bit fuzzy about things like how the damage is applied, because obviously
Exactly.
there isn't concussive or explosive damage in StarCraft 2, but you can probably adjust, their damage, their bonus versus armored or against light to replicate that a little. All right, so yeah, we're going from Zerg versus Zerg to Terran versus Terran.
And Monkey Shaman with the scout.
Right, and I don't know where Sergeant ABC lies with his Terran skills. Monkey Shaman has probably played Terran a little bit more since he's random. He's used to ending up with this, whether he wants them or not. And
Hey, Monkey Shaman. So you had the slight little. Yep. He has slight little gas that Sergeant ABC, so he's not doing Reaper. But Monkey Shaman is sitting on a bunch of gas.
So this. I mean, it's a little bit late for him to call a remake, though. That's the thing.
Go for it.
You gotta, yeah. If you start making the buildings, then I've got to assume that this is it. Now, as far as Terran goes, usually, you probably want your gases to get going a little bit earlier than Zerg, but you don't want to go overboard with the gases, because early on you got these mineral-only structures and marines you want to get out. You kind of want the gas to get going around when the factory is completed. Speaking of which, the factory is completed for Monkey Shaman.
I'm going to tell you that, Sergeant ABC maybe got the mistake, but his, you know what? I'm going to go with the most basic Terran build. 3 racks.
Marines, the 100 Marine March.
Yep. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Now, if he's going strictly if he's going to be going strictly Marine with no upgrades, I guess he is going to be expanding. But if he wants this to do well, he has to attack before the first siege tank is out.
That's right. It will be a bad time if you make that siege tank. Which Monkey Shaman is unaware he is not building that tank. Yeah, he has the gas, he has the minerals, so let's see if he catches it. I remember my Terran days of like, oh, how could I have forgotten to build the siege tank? That will happen.
Yep, siege tanks are where the money is, no doubt. There is so much damage they can do in just a split second. You know, a little bit tricky to counter too, especially if you got some anti-air going too. So I'm very curious what we're going to be seeing here. There's a second factory down for Monkey Shaman, as well as a starport. Sergeant ABC is going with Stimpack and a Ghost. A Ghost Academy. Yeah, not Ghost Academy. Maybe not as popular in TVT.
Right. Holy smokes! You know this the double factories coming out. I cut my teeth on Vibe's Hellbat Thor macro games. Like that's how I play. I play it slow mech style. So seeing these double factories brings back a lot of good memories.
Sergeant ABC is moving out, and at the same time, floating a command center all the way to that gold. And, okay, I kind of like this, just sort of clearing a path in case he needs to defend that command center. But I really feel with all the money he invested in those Marines right away, he probably should have tried to do some damage with them, but now there's a bunker and a siege tank, so that opportunity is kind of passed.
I'm wondering, like, you know, you misclick, you know, didn't race check, you know, you pull up the race that you're maybe not the most familiar with. So I think he's going to play it. I would play it a little bit safe, you know. Like if I was playing Protoss, I'd be like, I'm going to be a little defensive. You're going to see probably more than one cannon, photon cannon that you're normally accustomed to. So
this is really interesting for Monkey Shaman, though. He is making a fusion core, and he already has a tech lab on his starport, so we could be seeing battle cruisers unless he is really intent on some heavy-duty liberators, but he hasn't built any liberators yet, so I'd say battle cruisers. He's also invested a lot into factories too, so there's a lot up in the air on what to expect to come out of this.
Yeah, BCs are so dang expensive, and so yeah. Does he try to rush
tricky to two-base with, that's for sure. Right now, they're both very low worker count. Both in the 20s right now. And Monkey Shaman, you know, doing a wise thing, just scanning his opponent's base to see what's going on there. We have a Raven, which is, you know, quite a bit of gas. Cloak for the Ghost. Hi, they say. Smile, you're on camera. Ever wonder why it's called a comsat when it doesn't really communicate with anything?
Exactly.
Well, actually, a communications satellite would be going both directions.
That's right. That's right. Now, you know, he has the cloak. He has Ghost Cloak.
Is he going to nuke something? He hasn't made a nuke yet. I don't think. Right now, he's still researching Cloak. Yeah, 0 nukes have been made so far. Now, nuke is one of those things. If you're not experienced against it, it can be harder to defend than you think, especially if you're used to playing against the computer or something.
Yep.
You know, it's not as easy as it sounds to find that red dot. So sometimes just a matter of figuring out where the most likely targets would be. Speaking of which, nuclear launch.
Right there, the nuke countdown is on. So I think he figures. Sergeant ABC figures he's just going to walk that Ghost into his natural, launch the nuke, GG, right?
That might not be
Little does he
too
know.
easy with that Raven there, though.
Raven. That Raven's
And
like,
those tanks,
"Wham!"
which can sometimes you hear nuclear launch detected, you're looking everywhere for it, and then you finally realize, oh, the tank's already killed the ghost.
Yeah. There he goes.
All right.
If he does this right, he can do it.
Somebody call for an exterminator. Oh, and we here. Can you? How's your impression of the ghost dying sound? That, you know, the long drawn out one. Oh. Ah. It's like the ghost suffers during its death more than any other unit in the game.
Any other unit. It's a slow, painful death.
And I mean, gameplay-wise, it makes sense because it tells the opponent that, oh, I guess I killed it.
Confirmed you killed it.
Yeah.
In case you missed it. You killed it for real.
You called down the thunder, now reap the whirlwind. Alright, again, it is going to be very tricky to break Monkey Shaman with him on high ground with a couple of siege tanks. Yeah. However, if he knows about this third base, that is very vulnerable right now, and he might get tipped off just by the SCV coming out.
Mm-hmm. That's going bad.
Oh, I
very
don't,
bad time.
I don't think this is going to go well.
No.
He does still have a nuke, and he has another ghost he hasn't used yet, but it's maybe if he uses a medevac to actually drop the ghost somewhere where there isn't detection.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think sometimes when I'm Terran, if I'm behind, sometimes just landing a nuke, I consider that to be a moral victory. Oops.
No doubt.
Big thing with fighting against siege tanks is when a siege tank gets a hit at some of your units, some of the nearby ones will automatically try to move forward on the attack. Now, one thing he could do is EMP that Raven.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go on a limb and think that they may not know about the EMP.
It depends. Ooh, medevac energy being researched. You don't get to see that too often. It's very interesting. There really wasn't. Oh, all right. Let's see. Yeah, there it was. Ah! I think these are special forces ghosts, so they're ladies. And yeah,
Monkey Shaman is floating 3,000 minerals. He could build.
He could use some more production. He could build a whole fleet of battle cruisers right now if he adds a couple more start ports. But yeah, I think for both of them, spending the minerals is, you know, a little bit tricky. But it's interesting how much extra money Monkey Shaman has in the bank when it's his opponent that has, you know, more bases, including. I mean, you also look. There's only one SCV on the gold minerals right now. There's a lot going on here that could be adjusted. Another nuke being researched. I think that's going to be the name of the game here. And I like this. This is a bit of higher strategy stuff here. Sergeant ABC is putting down some forward-facing missile turrets for defense and detection, and there is Ghost that's just kind of sitting there, sort of taking little shots at mules.
Now we said, you know, Monkey Shaman is floating all that money. He's not bringing out the BCs, but he's certainly bringing out them Thors.
Thor is here. You know, I'm trying to get my my achievement badge for trying to talk like some of the units.
There you go. The ghost is going to try to take out, and that's not going to be enough.
There's no workers to kill. Okay, there's one worker to kill. Okay, that worker is going to fight back.
Wow.
All right, there we go. And that... They're having fun with this, but I think Monkey Shaman is ready to finish this up.
Yeah, Monkey Shaman, he's got the big push. The little shields on the
Marines and siege tanks.
Man.
And there just isn't anything that can take care of this right now. He's got a handful of Marines with no medevac support, and no units to counter the siege tanks, so... It was a noble effort. You gotta admire his dedication, Doctor Strangelove style. You know, you could just see Sergeant ABC sort of riding that nuke as it was dropped from.
That was a bold choice, Cotton.
Oh, I have seen SCVs kill ghosts before. Usually it was more than one surrounding them, but I have seen it. The future is SCVs killing ghosts. All right, we are still tied. Things going very even.
Crazy.
We are going to get them in. Nuclear launch detected.
I mean, I tried to just get nukes off.
Yep, and you did. I mean, I'm going to give you all the credit. You know,
Man, I'm so upset about that. I'm so upset about that. Just everything. Just I for some reason I saw Terran and I saw him as Terran, and then when it switched because it was Nacho's thing that was Terran, and I thought mine was on Zerg, but you know what? It is what it is.
Just for future reference, you got to tell me as soon as the match begins. I we already started building things, so.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to just take it because I did it. I didn't say anything before the match started, so I was like, you know what?
Your best life there.
Yeah, I tried. Is
I
this
feel
a
like this sort of accident is probably the only way that I could take a game off you, so I'm just gonna say fate is called upon me. Because I know Pittsburgh is very strong, so I'm delighted that I'll take the win, but I know that it is only because it ended up into being a TVT. But still, nicely done. I do appreciate that you went for ghosts. They're near and dear to my heart.
I tried.
Oh yeah, they are an iconic unit. Monkey Shaman, just a couple observations. First match, economy. You were just really behind in drones, and if you kept the drones coming in between those attacks, you know, those Zerglings and Banelings were just killing each other. You could have gradually gotten hit on that. Second one was a bit of the opposite. You had quite the bank, so I would have built a lot more production structures and kept those coming out. But you had a very good defensive setup there. Raven, siege tanks. You were putting forward some missile turrets up where you were going to expand to. That, you know, regardless of anything, that was going to be a difficult position to break. So, well done there.
No, I want you to know, I just looked at all my games for Terran. I've only played 6 games of Terran.
But you guys weren't too far apart. You know, that was what? Only 6 more than that Sergeant ABC?
I'd say that for playing 6 games of Terran, maybe ever, that was, you know, you acquitted yourself very well. Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
Let me. Here's my feedback for Sergeant ABC. You're like, you know, you got dealt the hand. You're like, okay, well, I'm just going to go with it.
Yeah.
You're starting off with the 3 racks and pumping out Marines. That was the perfect response. Like, that's the perfect response. Like, okay, I rolled up Terran.
Yeah.
The only pro tip I have is just march those Marines across. Like, get
I had them over way too early, and I should have just sent them over.
Yeah.
I think that I had a scouting probe in your neighborhood that was pretty hidden for a while, or not probe SCV, but I saw them move out, so that helped me get ready for the Marine pressure.
Nice.
That's good. Well, guys, that was amazing. I'm very sad, but it was great. It was great. I was so close. To getting those nukes multiple times, and then the FCV came in for a clutch.
Yeah, no, that I was so proud of that. That was the boy. I pulled him, and that I was so proud. It would have
been a moral victory, but remember, nukes do not instantly take out command centers, so would have been nice. But I think one thing you might have tried would be just putting one of those ghosts into a medevac and just dropping it in his
mentally
base.
I couldn't get there. I knew
Yeah,
what
fair
to do, but mentally or physically and skillfully, I couldn't get there. I had told myself to build a starport after the factory went down, and it just never went down.
That be there. I've been there before.
Called Cinnamon
Good
Sugar
show.
All right, well, good game, man.
Okay, so I've got.
I'm glad we tied it up.
American
So,
Party.
Code S.
GG's as always.
Good luck, Code S. Good luck, Code S.
Yeah, just
Easy
ABC.
nachos. Yes,
Before
sir.
you hop, I gotta say your sportsmanship is impeccable as always, even when finding yourself in a rough situation like that. So nicely done.
Ever the
guys.
soldier.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very
Alright.
much.
Okay.
All right, guys.
All right,
Tied
so
match.
we need to get Antoine Q into party. I'm gonna let Nachos and Monkey Shaman do the interview for a moment. I just need to grab something, so I'll be right back in 2 minutes. But yeah, we got to get Antoine Q in party.
Yeah, I gotta get the camera on and the get going there.
Who is Antoine Q's opponent for our next match?
Menace, I think.
Menace.
It's 3-3, guys.
Tight race.
Yeah. And a lot of times, like, we see these games like, sometimes you go, 2-0, 2-2, then 4-2. But this is like a 3-3. I mean, still be it would be crazy if we go into an ace match. Would that be? Did we go into ace match first week? Because we did last week.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think so.
Wow. You know what? If we go three straight with aces, that is big props to the entire league, to all the captains, and all the players. Like, this is more. This is like really even, and it feels like there's not one team that's super dominant. That'd be really great.
Yeah. No, that's the dream, honestly, is for all of them to be so close that we're on the edge of our seats. So I do want Polar Boys to win. I do have a bias in this one, but I'm hoping that it comes right down to the wire.
Mate, same here, man. Same here. Dark Menace, Antoine Q, welcome to Code S. How are you guys feeling?
Hello, what's up?
Antoine, il te demande comment tu te sens faire partie du Code S.
Oh, bah ça va, mais j'ai un peu peur pour le ZVZ. Voilà.
Okay, so Antoine is feeling confident, but he's a bit scared for the ZVZ because it's not the greatest matchup for him.
Every Zerg player feels that to their bones. ZVZ is crazy. It's crazy. Knife fight in a phone booth. Unpredictable. Dark Menace, how do you feel about this?
I mean, TBT is always risky, right? But I haven't queued ladder in a while, so we'll see how it goes.
Knocking the rust off. I love it.
All right, Monkey Shaman and KJ, I'm creating the lobby.
Right on. I will say accept. And good luck, have fun to the players. Et en tant que bienvenue au FSL et bonne chance.
Okay, loving it.
Hey. All right.
All right, getting into our high level games here. Dark Menace. Yeah, he's saying that he hasn't had a chance to practice too much, but I wouldn't underestimate him.
Neither would I.
All right, reminder for everyone to check race this time, but yeah, this is good old ZVZ. This is going to be... It's tough. You really got to read some things, especially when you want to make a bunch of Zerglings early on, whether you want to add Banelings, and then when you want to switch to Roaches. There is some very very unforgiving tech adjustments that have to be made early.
You are watching
It's all about reading your opponent and knowing when to do those. In the upper left, we have the pink Zerg. He is
Dark Menace.
And he is here to play for
Pulled the Boys.
And his opponent in the lower right, playing Zerg as well with the green drones, we have
Antoine Q.
And he is representing Team
CheesyNachos.
Right. So Hypertotal, we've seen just a little bit of Antoine Q, but he showed a very strong performance in those team games. And then Dark Menace we've seen in prior seasons. But this is the first time that we have a one-on-one with Antoine Q. So any expectations or predictions?
Well, I mean, first of all, I just want to point out Dark Menace going pool first.
That's
He is
right.
just about to complete, whereas Antoine Q is just a quarter of the way done. 6 slings in production.
Yeah.
This is nuts already. Oh, no mirroring here. That he's going ling speed.
I love it.
Yep.
I love it.
Dark Menace is definitely ready for aggression. He has not even started his natural hatchery yet.
Who needs a natural hatchery when you have all the Zerglings in your opponent's base?
Yep, just got a spawn from them. Oh,
Yeah.
and look at, I mean, still no
gonna
new hatchery. He is going Baneling Nest. He
I see.
really wants to hit hard, and he wants to hit early, and he wants to hit hard. No,
So
I
you're
said hard, then early, then hard again.
You're seeing CheesyNachos going to pull the boys.
Yeah.
Yep,
And
he's going to have
you
room.
had that scouting overlord that let him see the Zergling move out at least, so he was able to just barely get out his defensive lanes. But when is
If you
Zerg
play-
finishing?
Yeah,
Pretty
if
soon,
you play
right?
Any UGZ, you know that this is always going to be a possibility.
Oh yeah.
And at this time, a lot of that, you got to be ready to decide whether to pull things from the natural and let it go, or to defend it. And you got to decide that pretty decisively. And now we've got the queens up front.
Yeah, he's got 2
I
more
can
queens
take
coming
that
out.
over.
Surround going down on the first queen. All right,
Ooh.
both Banelands have been down.
2 queens.
Queen goes down.
And those Banes are still morphing.
And we see the boys are not been pulled. He's gonna crowd on his micro to get him out. Keep the spine alive.
One of the boys turned into a spine crawler, though, or is turning
Yeah.
into one. I think it's going to complete too.
Oh, here's the Banes. Here they come.
All about not letting them up the ramp, but also not sacrificing too much.
He is going for that.
5 go down.
There we go.
And you need the drones here for the extra damage and to absorb and occasionally just stop attacking so that the Zerglings try to go around them.
Look at that speed difference between the lings with wings and the lings that don't have them.
And here's the thing: after all that damage, Dark Menace is only up 3 workers.
Yeah, and Antoine's got a pretty big slowing move out here.
Yeah, he killed
but
5
Antoine's
workers
coming with
before
the
got
counter.
some Zerglings and a spine crawler, but I think it's also important to note that he killed a couple of queens, but
Yeah. I see Dark Menace maneuvering to get those Banes finished from their cocoons, and I think they're out in time to stop any kind of counterattack here from having any oomph.
And Antoine Q has not even started researching Zergling speed yet, so
no.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
limitations on what he can do here, even if
Yeah.
he's got the numbers advantage.
I gotta say, for having this
Antoine had a
whole
weakness.
thing and no Banes, Antoine Q took the better part of that trade than I expected. That one Baneling is going off on a slowling hunting, but they are faster than the Banelings. Banelings have to be a Zergling that also has that big old battery of bile or whatever it is, acid on their
It
backs.
takes a lot of control on both sides. All right, speed is being started now for Antoine, and there's
Yeah.
that one Baneling, hopefully being met with only one
Yeah.
Zergling. That's the thing.
Boom.
All right.
He's
Maybe
got
3
that
Zerglings, but
Zergling
it's not bad. Queen is blocking the ramp. A little.
Yeah.
Almost blocking it.
Oh!
Dark Menace.
I think. Yeah,
You
Dark
hate to
Menace
see
is
it.
better.
Oh, love to see it.
Just like that. Major aggression.
Barely over 5 minutes. And after that.
As the resident Z expert here, that was really interesting. It was a 13-12 single base all in with the Banelings, right? And he was really all in, but he did just enough damage to put down his hatchery and defend the counterattack.
Mm-hmm.
And
Some
it was
skill
interesting.
play.
Yeah, it was really interesting how Antoine Q was doing all that with just slow links for the most part.
They
He almost
had
made it work.
very different. Yeah, they were working with very different stuff there. So Pull the Boys is up to 4 wins now.
Can we get an ace match?
We'll
We'll see.
Yep.
We'll see.
I mean, Antoine Q just has to get 1 win to go there.
Incorporeal LE is a map I'm not sure I've ever played. Is this one of the new map pool items?
Oh yeah, yes it is.
You are
Right on.
They kept a few of them from last season, but that's not enough. Alright, in the meantime though, in the upper left, we have the pink series. Yep, one map is
Dark Menace.
and he is playing for the team of
Pull the Boys.
And his opponent in the lower right, playing with the green Zerg, we have
Antoine Q.
and he is representing team
CheesyNachos.
in what's sure to be an exciting match.
Dark
Time
Menace
is-
taking his hatchery
Yeah.
at the usual time now.
It is a more of a close mirror match. I noticed that Dark Menace did something I think called an extractor trick, where you morph a drone into an extractor so that you can get another drone before your overlord is out, and then you cancel it. So and now his opponent has done the same thing. This is the second
It is
extractor.
getting very popular again.
Yeah.
For a long time, everyone who was doing that, people were like, that doesn't make a real difference, you know. And then, yeah, gradually, I mean, sometimes even a double extractor trick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They can...
No, I mean, and that's actually what Dark Menace did here. He pulled off two extractor tricks, so he is getting the most sort of like skill expression that he can in this early game, even when his only units are drones.
Yep, I mean, at the very least, it's something to keep yourself sharp as you're building up.
Yeah.
Zerg does have a little bit of a wait once it gets to 14 supply, and you know, you're waiting for that overlord to come out. Antoine Q, you know, he's gonna want to play his game, but he knows that, okay, he might do the same thing, or he might do something a little different. He's gonna confirm right now that it's not a one base anymore.
Yeah. He just barely saw the creep at the edge of that overlord's vision, and then that's all he needed.
Oh yeah.
And let's not to be not to. I'm gonna highlight this. Antoine's going for a gasless build. He is not pulled gas yet.
Here come.
Right now, yeah, Antoine's got 8 Zerglings, his opponent has 6, but he also has those 2 queens there, so...
Yeah.
And Dark Menace putting down the Baneling nest again.
Mm-hmm. Which I think, even though he doesn't have the knowledge that it's a gasless build from his opponent, Banelings have to be maybe the best counter that Zerg has in that early mid game against gasless, because slow lings will not be able to run away or really outmaneuver them very well.
I've got to assume that Antoine's going to be taking an extractor soon, because he's got a couple of of evolution chambers out, and those don't do much. Yeah, and a Roach Warren too. So
This makes
those are going to
sense.
serve as his wall with the queen in between.
Got it. So will we see then a Baneling bust out of Dark Menace when he sees this wall and the Roach investment?
I doubt he's going to go for that. Banelings do some extra damage against structures, but not enough to take down bigger buildings very easily. And they don't do any kind of bonus against queens. But yeah, this is very strange. Yeah, okay, now he's putting the extractors down. You know, I'm just gonna say this wall is composed of structures where you kind of need gas to benefit from them.
Yeah. But something else I see with this wall, I mean, it's a beautiful wall, which, well, it's got this line of Zerglings in front of the Roach Warren. It's protecting that tech production structure. And something I know about them. Yeah. Those Evo chambers are one of the Zergling buildings. I don't think it's truly everyone that spits out the little broodlings, you know, when they get blown up. But both of those Evo chambers will.
Yeah, it's the defensive structures that don't.
Yeah.
So, now here's the big deal, though. Antoine Q, he's got a very strong defense here, but he also hasn't taken a third at the 4.5-minute mark, whereas his opponent is building one up right now.
Yep.
So is the plan to defend behind his wall with that queens and buildings, get himself a big Roach max, and go 2-base Roach all in?
It might very well be an all-in. He is making an in-base, what do you call it, macro hatchery.
Yeah.
But, yeah, doing this, he knows he's going to be behind an economy, so whatever he does, he's going to have to do it before his opponent has a chance to really benefit from that third.
Yeah, right now the supplies are very even though we do have a supply block now that's been canceled, and just immediately Dark Menace spends all those larvae. He was waiting for that to pop. We got roaches coming out from him too. 6 roaches.
Come up right into lair. Antoine, meanwhile, researching melee attack and Carip. That's interesting. Despite the Warren, I wonder if that's meant to miss his opponents.
I think it's gonna be Ultra, right? If he's got purpose, that'll help those roaches to stay alive. But if you can make,
I think you got to have the economy of 3 bases at least to do Ultra. I think this is just
Ultras are so expensive.
Really mass-ling. And I think that Roach Warren, aside from being part of the wall, no Spire. Okay,
I was off on this.
I really want to know where this is going now.
Right?
Yeah, I'll explain it later after the thing, but it's pretty cool.
Okay, the resident Zerg expert. I'm low metal leagues, but when I see melee being invested into, I'm thinking it's Zerglings, Banelings, and Ultralisks, right? Maybe it helps with Brutes.
It's a possibility. You know, Brute Lords are interesting. I don't know if they're really in style right now, but the melee upgrade does actually benefit the Broodlings once they've been created.
Yeah.
My thing is that without a third,
check
he doesn't have the gas for Ultralisk or Broodlord or
Yeah.
Broodlord.
Check the chat. That's the key.
Yeah.
So maybe it's going to be, I guess, Muta Bane. That's
yeah, he's gonna have to really surround these roaches and really avoid the Bane too, or really.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, look at that Bane.
This is a good number of roaches. Now, the upgrades are going to help here against the roach armor. At the end, we've got this nice ball of
gonna be enough.
Only the outer circle, the outer part of the circle can be damaged. I think at this point, there's nothing going to march out of
falling queens, falling drones, falling everything that gets in the way.
There's 7 mutas on the way, but mutas barely cause damage to roaches.
And that Spire is done
just like that.
Yeah.
And I think we might have the answer to whether or not there's going to be an ace match.
We shall see.
They're going to gradually damage the roaches, but while they're doing that, the roaches are just going to take out one structure after
another. Pool's going to go, queens are going to go,
here comes more Zerglings.
Down to 59 supplies, so he's got to make magic happen with those mutas, but I don't think it's going to be sufficient.
mutas are not magic. Their role is very clear, and that's to bounce those glaives among a bunch of small units that can't fire
That's
them.
right.
That they do not.
When you-
They are not quick to eliminate heavily armored units, and they are also not very powerful against anything that can fire back.
Right.
And I mean, yeah,
when
he's
you
got the cleanup here,
march
but-
across, when you march across with your roaches, you see a 1 or 2 or 3, even a 3 flyers. Just keep on marching. Those roaches are tough as nails.
Well, he's got to keep going with them. I don't think it's going to win him the game, but it's his only option right now. He's actually building another spire now.
Fascinating. Well, I mean, and Dark Menace made the tech switch to Hydralisks. He's got those Grew Spines researching, and he has a number of them on the field.
9 of them about to pop, and that's along with the queens.
Yeah, so I don't think these mutas are going to have a very good day. Once they fly there, ooh, good movement.
They don't do well against Hydra
Oh,
Ball.
free hits. Oh, we've got to get him out of there. Oh, no, that's GG.
You gotta go on the border too. So yeah, GG. Pulled the boys, has taken.
Nicely done.
Nicely done, boys.
Guys, that was really high level, Zerg. You might have missed a couple of things. One is during the big attack with the Roach Ling, the Bane Lings really, saved him from dying to the 1-1 Lings. But also, once he got in, he sniped the pool and the mutas. The Spire. That was really a high level play for both of them. And also, if you saw Antoine, he was microing so great, trying to make do with what he had, the drones and the mutas, and he actually almost pulled it off where he didn't lose too much. That was really well played by both sides.
And I love the fake out with the Roach Warren, and the very dedicated late gas build. Dark Menace, we were mentioning we haven't really seen you do quite that type of Ling rush, and it definitely paid off to you first game, and you were able to keep your opponent off of Ling speed for so long. Are those second one kind of more your basic bread and butter, right?
Yeah, I usually don't cheese, but I wanted to test the waters, go for a cheese. I mean, I haven't played in a while, so I
cheese
wasn't
can
sure.
be all the more effective when it's done by the players you don't expect to cheese from. Yeah, welcome back into it, starting with the bang and taking it home for your team.
Thanks.
And Antoine, we just wanted your thoughts on that build in the second game, because as we said, it could have been very effective against just a slightly different answer from his opponent.
Donc il te demande ce que tu penses de du build que tu as fait dans la deuxième game, et si tu penses que ça aurait eu un impact différent si la composition de Dark Menace aurait changé.
Ça aurait changé s'il n'y avait pas de Benling.
Ouais. Par exemple. Si elle était différente.
S'il n'y avait pas les Benling, les roches ne passaient pas, par exemple. Parce que je pense qu'il avait scout avec un...
Okay, so he says that if there was slightly less bailings, then the roach would have straight died. And you think that Dark Menace actually scouted the build with the Ling at some point?
Did you scout that? Yeah.
I had an idea.
You did? You had an idea?
I saw all the links, actually. I saw all the links. That's
oh,
why
you
I'm
saw
using
that. I was going to say, because that was a well-hidden... That was a great build, Antoine.
Yeah.
C'était un super build, Antoine.
Ouais, c'est vrai.
Okay. He says thanks.
Alright. Well, we got to see a lot of new faces today. I love that. And we got, pretty close stuff. No ace match this time, but boy, was it close to it. And, again, kudos to Sergeant ABC for rolling with the punches when he chose the wrong race. I admire that. And who do we have playing? Which teams are going to be up next?
We have Pull the Boys going back to back versus Angry Space Bear.
Okay, that is going to be interesting. For me, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go over to my parents' place and take a look at that computer issue my mother was bringing up to me, because that's what happens when your parents pay for most of your tuition. They get to capitalize on what you majored in. So there you go, tech time. Thank you very much for everyone coming here. These were some really entertaining matches, and I'm loving how the season's been going so far.
What a way to start the weekend, right? Like, get a good breakfast, get in some good StarCraft 2, hang out with your friends, have the most respectful and well-intentioned trash talk. It's just something beautiful. FSL has something going. So thank you guys for putting it together.
All right. Till next time.
All right. GG's. Later.
GG.
Cheesy Nachos. Agent Infinite Silence. Angry Space Bears. Hold the boys.